Hello, my wonderful Coldplay and Selena Gomez fans out there. The duo just released their music video for Let Somebody Go, and holy cow, do I have a ton of things to say about it. Now, before we get started, if you enjoy this video and just like this kind of content, then I definitely recommend subscribing. Not only is it super easy to do, but it just helps me out a ton. So I appreciate you doing that in advance. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so if you haven't seen the video yet, definitely go watch it right after watching this video. Like I said, I'm going to be giving my input, what I thought about the video in this, and then you can use that to your advantage when you go watch it. Now, to start things off, I wanted to explain what this video is and what it really looks like. So it's kind of this black and white cinematic masterpiece that kind of takes nods from Inception and, as Madi pointed out on Twitter, the mirror dimension. And my initial thoughts when I was watching this for the first time, I just thought, wow, this is incredible. It really is just so beautiful. Like I said, it's really a cinematic masterpiece. And not to mention that the quality of the video is just insane. Like it's just really high def and beautiful. I was definitely blown away when I saw this video for the first time. Now, before the video even started, it was really cool because if you were watching along to the premiere, you actually got to see these behind the scenes looks at the making of this video. And it was really cool because you got to see some of the stages that they used. You got to see how they were able to make that anti-gravity flying through the city scenes. And just overall, what I took from that, these behind the scenes things, is that it was just very aesthetically pleasing. Like even these behind the scenes shots were just so beautiful. And I thought that was really kind of cool because it just shows how pretty this video is, because even before making it all polished and beautiful, it naturally was. So shout out to whoever took the photos for those behind the scenes things, because it was just really cool. And if you were able to see that ahead of time in that premiere, oh, you got a treat with that. So it was just kind of cool to see that. So now that I talked about my kind of overall thoughts about the video and how I felt about it, I wanted to talk about some Easter eggs and some kind of just important subtle details about the video. First of all, I thought it was really cool how they started the video off in the same scene as how they ended it. So if you notice, one of the first scenes, other than like the traffic and kaleidoscopy stuff, is Chris and Selena hugging in front of like this, it's kind of like a movie theater, I think it was, and it ends the same way. Now, the thing that I thought was just super crazy about this is that when I was watching this for the first time, it felt like that beginning scene was a welcome, like they were meeting on the street and just greeting each other. And at the end of it, it definitely felt like they were saying goodbye. So to me, it was just incredible that through the span of this music video, the beginning could seem, even though it's like the same scene, I think, the beginning could feel so polar opposite to the ending, given the context of the entire video. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is what is seen here. So as you can see, it says some words on that billboard in front of that movie theater, like I said, and it is a reference to everyone is an alien somewhere. Now, if you haven't heard this phrase before, it was used a ton of times in the marketing for Music of the Spheres, the Coldplay album that was just released. And obviously with that album, it was very space themed and dealt with aliens, right? But why really use this phrase in this music video? Well, I really think it's because this song deals a lot with being vulnerable and just kind of being uncomfortable, right? Similar to how an alien feels or just an outsider feels. So I think they related that feeling of being an alien or an outsider to this feeling of being lost when you're in love or you have loved somebody and you have to let them go. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is how they're able to use the surroundings of the city to make this really amazing dreamlike art. Now, it was interesting to me for a couple reasons. One being that it was very much like a kaleidoscope, right? And the kaleidoscope effect, or just even the phrase kaleidoscope has been seen in Coldplay things for many years. And the other thing that I thought was just incredible was how they were able to take that sculpture that is seen at the very beginning and just throughout the entire video and just embellish it. So if you see from the very beginning, it kind of has these stairs leading to nowhere, and they take those and make this huge sculpture that they're able to walk on, and it's kind of this circle sculpture, and they're finally able to, you know, meet each other near the end and embrace and everything. So it was just insane to see that they were able to use that. Or, you know, even when Chris is hanging on the light post or whatever that is, and the street signs. And it was just cool to see that they were able to not only make art with it, but make it part of the story and part of the overall look of this video. Now, I really think that this sculpture has a huge impact on the story, and it's a really integral figure in this music video. And as I mentioned before, this sculpture at the beginning is kind of just leading nowhere. So perhaps it's a little symbolic to the relationship between the two. Now, one of the last things I wanted to mention is something that I didn't know if it was intentional or not, but it's definitely something that I picked up on when I was watching this video, and it's the use of circles. So the first example I saw of this was at the very beginning, where we see Selena wearing these circle earrings. There's also, like I just mentioned before, that sculpture turns into this huge circle. And then there's also just a few nods to it in the buildings and in the windows that I thought just were kind of, it looked to me as if they were intentional, but it was just kind of hard not to notice them. So you might be thinking, okay, like, why would they intentionally use circles? So a few things that I thought of is at the very beginning, there's that line that says we talked around in circles. You know, another reason could be, maybe this is subconscious, but in psychology, when you are drawing circles, that's supposed to be a sign of thinking about love. And then the other thing that I thought of is that a circle, much like an infinity sign, is just a symbol of eternity. It just is something that is continuous and on repeat, right? So obviously the infinity sign is very, you know, connected to Coldplay in a lot of ways, but also just the overall understanding of this song in the meaning of love. Kind of like how in Everglow, you know, even when you lose somebody, you still have that part with them. You still have those memories, you have those experiences, and you always just kind of have that connection to them. So perhaps, if my theory is correct, this is why they intentionally use circles. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention about this video is this. So when I was watching this, I swear to you, I literally laughed out loud when I saw this. It was just so awkward to me, and it was funny because I'm watching this whole video and I'm thinking, okay, wow, this is incredible, it's so beautiful, and it's just like so serious, and then they get to this really awkward hug and I'm like, what is this? Okay, so maybe it's not that bad, but it just, to me, it was just so funny because they're trying to be so serious, and then Chris's face is just in her belly, and it's just like, out of this whole video, if I had like one thing that I was just like, oh, that was weird, it was this. Like, everything else was just so beautiful, and then we got to this part and I just couldn't stop laughing. Like, I'm seriously trying to imagine what that was like while they were recording it. It's just like, okay, one more time. Yeah, just, can you make it less awkward? It's like, I don't know. I don't know how that made the cut, but if anyone shares that same feeling as I do, that same sentiment of how awkward that was, then please comment below so I know I'm not alone. And that, my friends, is what I thought about this music video. Now, other than that hug, I thought this was incredible. Like, I think about some of Coldplay's previous music videos with a similar aesthetic, like with Magic, right? That was black and white. And I think about some other collabs like Princess of China. And I think this video honestly tops them when it comes to like prettiness and just overall aesthetic and just quality. It just is such a great music video. But those are just my thoughts. So definitely comment below because I'm kind of interested to hear what you had to think about this. Did you really like it? Did you think that hug was super awkward? Did you like the direction of it, the style that's kind of similar to Inception? Just, I don't know, I like to know what you guys think. And hey, while you're down there commenting, definitely give this video a like, and if you're feeling so kind, subscribe. Like I said, it helps me out a ton, and it's super easy, completely free to do. And thank you so much for watching all the way to this very end where I'm just kind of rambling about things. It's really appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, have a great day. Peace.